So March's format for the Silph Arena is the Toxic Cup, and you can see here that it is Bug type, Poison type, Normal type, Ground type, and Grass type. And then the exclusions are Tropius, Noctowl, Vigoroth, and what is deemed the Mud Boys, which would be the Water and Ground types. You cannot use any of them. Other than that, if it's listed under Bug, Poison, Normal, Ground, or Grass, it is free game. So I put together some footage of the tournament that I did in Springfield. I didn't actually go to Springfield to do the tournament. It was a remote format since this whole pandemic is going on. Niantic has made it to where we can do remote tournaments with people that we're not ultra friends with until this is all over with. So as of right now, until the end of April, you can add anyone to your friends list and then interact with them one time, basically just send or open a gift, and then you are good friends and you can battle them. So there are a lot of mega tournaments going on right now. There are several tournaments held through the Go Battle, or through the Go Stadium, also through Pokemon Coliseum. Those are two of the bigger Discord groups that have mega tournaments going on every month. So, but like I said, this one is going to be the tournament that I did in Springfield. And in just a second, we'll get into some battles and see how I did. So these battles were hosted by the Queen City Indigo League, which is based out of Springfield, Missouri. That happens to be my hometown. It's always fun battling with these guys. So this first match is against Jacked721. She is a pretty good trainer who usually has some pretty wild off-meta picks, which I always enjoy. I think just going straight meta is really boring, so the off-meta picks are always fun. My team will be posted on the left this whole video, and the team on the right will change depending on what the trainer's team is. And I did speed up these battles just to kind of get them going a little bit faster, but we're going in here. I did elect to use Pidgeot in this cup. I was actually, when it started, I was a little bit nervous because, like, man, Pidgeot's not really the best flyer. It's kind of a Noctowl alternative, and you can't use Noctowl in this cup, so I didn't use Pidgeot in any of the other Toxic Cups that I did this month, but this is the tournament that I ended up doing the best in. So maybe I should have stuck with my original team. I ran into several times when I just wasn't sure what to bring against some of these teams later on. You'll see a couple of these battles that don't go exactly the way I want them to be. But overall, I did pretty well. This team, I went with a double grass strategy. I really like it because some of the water types in this cup can be very problematic. And Drapion, I finally was able to get the fast TM to give him Ice Fang, and I'm really, really liking Drapion with Ice Fang. So, up against the Munchlax here, which is definitely not a meta Pokemon. Very spicy, and I really like it. I need to get one powered up for myself, maybe for a future tournament, maybe for some Go Battle League battles. Whenever we go back to the Great League at the end of the season. But yeah, I get off these Aqua Tails. Don't remember what I did here as far as shield wise. Yeah, I let it go, and I was able to get to another Aqua Tail, so that was nice. Able to keep switch advantage here. Low Eradicate is very, very good. It's kind of like a poor man's Umbreon, if you will. Umbreon obviously not available in this league because Dark is not one of the typings, but since a Low Eradicate is Dark and Normal, you're able to bring him in. So another spicy pick. I really like it. Hippowdon is probably one of my favorite picks on this team. And again, this is the only tournament that I used him in, and I probably should have used him more. That Fire Fang is just, it does a lot of damage against a lot of the meta, so should have just, like I said, stuck with my original team. But this is going to finish up round 2, so we'll go into our third match here. And we've got Hippowdon lead into Munchlax. This isn't exactly a positive lead for me, but it's also not exactly a negative lead. It's just kind of neutral. We're both going to just kind of chip away at each other slowly. Body Slam is a pretty spammy move, and it's pretty high DPS. I do elect to shield here, and I think I switch out. Maybe I don't. No, I just stay in with it. And in comes the Breloom. Breloom's another one you're not really seeing a whole lot of. It is a really good Pokemon with the dual typing of grass and fighting. Most people who use a fighting type are either using Toxicroak or Heracross. Some people are running Escavalier with Counter as a quick move to kind of fill that slot. I actually ended up not using a fighting type for any of my tournaments. I don't know. I didn't like it. Fighting's one of my favorite types, but in this cup, I didn't like it. There are too many things that counter it. Flying. You've got psychic moves from things like Wormadam and things like Venomoth. Even, like Executor, which I did run into a few of those, and man, I'm glad I only ran into a few of them. They are spicy. But finishing up this third round here, and I did end up losing that one. So going on to the second match, Trading Only 27. This is a trainer I'd never battled before. Didn't really know what to expect. Definitely a positive lead for me. They switched right out. Staraptor, really cool Pokemon. Unfortunately, it's just not very good in Great League. I've tried to use it before because I think it's just a really neat Pokemon, but as far as flying types goes, it's outclassed by so many. I should have definitely blocked that. I did not know at this point that a Hyper Fang could do that much damage to Shiftry, but, thanks to this battle I learned, and that was the last time that happened to me this cup. Luckily, since the Bibarel is already a little low on health, I'll be able to take it out with this Pidgeot. Normally, I don't think Pidgeot beats Bibarel, but we'll see. And he brings in that Staraptor, and this Hurricane is going to one-shot it. So again, flying type, not super effective against flying type, so yeah, just not really the best pick. This is not a positive lead for me, but luckily Aqua Tail will do super effective damage to that Hippodon. And then Pidgeot in the back. Aerial Ace is not really a very good move. I think if Pidgeot had Sky Attack, it would be much, much better. It might even outclass Noctowl at that point, but maybe in the future it will get some move updates. So this is another positive lead for me. Wormadam uses Confusion as a quick move, which is just going to rip right through Golbat since he is part poison type. And just kind of waiting for him to switch out, and I'll throw the Bug Buzz at this Bibarel. It's going to do good damage if it's not blocked, which it wasn't, and then bring in the Shiftry, and I know this time, gotta block that Hyper Fang. So, got a little bit of extra energy there, and then throw the Leaf Blade for the KO. And what's going to come in next? Toxicroak. Let's see if I can get to this. Yes. So most people with Shiftry, they run Foul Play as their second move, but I opted for Hurricane. Unfortunately, he did block that, so maybe he knew about that, but if the other trainer doesn't know that you can have Hurricane, they don't block it, it's going to one-shot Toxicroak, so that's why I went with that one. Still doing pretty well. I should be able to take a win out of this one. Obviously, Drapion's going to shred that Golbat with the Ice Fang, so GG's. And we'll go into this next round here. And Pidgeot versus Bibarel. It's not exactly a negative matchup, but it's definitely not a positive matchup. Bibarel is a better Pokemon overall than Pidgeot. Yep, subbed out. This time I'm going to try to bait the shield with the Leaf Blade, which I did get it. And I'm just going to throw another one. It's not going to kill him, but it'll do decent damage to him still. So we'll, yeah. Got to take this Toxicroak out since I did do the double grass strategy this time. And it's not looking great for me. Let's see. Toxicroak can have Sludge Bomb, which will just absolutely one-shot those grass Pokemon. So, definitely a good lead for me. Meganium is going to just absolutely destroy that Bibarel. And Golbat in the back. This is not positive by any means. Flying type quick move, poison type charge move. Yeah, this one's not looking too good for me. Let's see what happens with this Frenzy Plant. Nope, nothing at all. So that'll be round 3, and yeah. Now I'm up against Lion's Den 716. He is Springfield's first ace trainer, and he gives me trouble every single time I go up against him. I've battled him. I think I've gone up against him every month for the monthly cups held by Queen City Indigo League, and twice I've been able to manage the win, but man, they were close battles each time. I do not manage the win this time. As you will see, I'm just very outclassed by his team. He's got a very spicy team. Most people that are running the ground flying are doing Gliscor. He's running Gligar, which is just, it's different moves. It's got a little bit more HP. It's not something I'd gone up against before, and it doesn't really play the same way. It doesn't really handle the same way. He's also got Quillfish, so he is running the double water strategy, which shouldn't be a problem for me since I've got double grass, but yeah, we'll just watch how this plays out. In hindsight, I don't think Hippowdon was the best one to bring onto this team. I pretty much brought it for coverage of that Wormadam, but I didn't get it lined up right, so it didn't really do me any good. I think double grass strategy the whole time would have probably been my go-to if I could redo these matches. So round 1 lost. We'll go right into round 2. And I decided to open Hippowdon again. Not a good lead for me. I really don't know why I did that. Yeah, Drapion against Wormadam is not a good matchup. There are worse matchups, but it's just not positive. I can throw these Aqua Tails. They'll do decent damage if he doesn't block them, but, I mean, you can see it for yourself. It's not going well for me. I'm saving my shields, just hoping that I can maybe scrape a win by. Hippowdon's going to be able to finish off that Wormadam, but now he's essentially useless. I don't really think he is going to have any more positive matches in this one. So, yep, in hindsight, definitely would have left him home, not brought him in my line of 3. I think just in the midst of it, I get nervous every time I have to battle this guy because he's really good. Yeah, Shiftry's not going to last very long in this matchup. Shiftry is very spammy since since Snarl is a quick move, will just spam off those charge moves. But if I would have paired him maybe with Meganium and Drapion, or Meganium and Wormadam, or Drapion and Wormadam, that would have been a much better outcome for me. So there we go, lost 2. Let's go into this third round here, see if we can pull a win out of it. Again, not really sure why I brought Pidgeot. Yeah, it doesn't have really positive matches here. It's got Shiftry, and that's it. So I definitely could have made some better decisions when I chose my line of 3 to go up against Lion's Den. So hopefully next month I do better. Maybe I'll just take a little bit more time looking at his team, looking at my team, and choosing the right Pokemon this time. We'll go ahead and finish this one out. I'm not doing too terribly bad in this round. If I can land that Hurricane, it'll definitely be a win for me, but it went shielded. So Pidgeot's down. We'll bring in Meganium, which is, I think I was doing my flying lead with double grass in the back strategy on this one, which It worked out for me in a couple of tournaments, but against this team, it doesn't really have. I don't know. Wormadam would have been a better lead, I think. So Meganium is pretty bulky and can do decent damage with both of its charge moves. If you can get to that Earthquake, it's just going to wreck just about anything, unless it's resisted, obviously. So this one might actually be a win for me. I think I do have Shiftry in the back, and it didn't even matter. We'll go into the last match here. Again with the Hippowdon lead. I guess it made a little bit more sense here. Hippowdon's got Wormadam and Escavalier, so those are two that I desperately need to make sure I can beat. And he brings in the Drapion, and I switch out just in case one of those two is in the back. Wormadam's going to be able to beat this Drapion. And Wormadam versus Wormadam, but he's obviously got more energy than I do, so we'll go ahead and bring in that Hippowdon. It's going to go down, but I'm going to do a lot of damage to that Wormadam with those Fire Fangs. So he immediately switches out. He didn't want to take any of that. I'll get this Body Slam off and almost finish off the Golbat. Drapion's going to come in. I probably didn't need to block that. I resist whatever moves Golbat's going to throw at me, unless it's return. But that one wasn't purified, so I didn't have to worry about that. And I was able to get the win there. So we'll go ahead with round 2. Again, the Hippowdon lead. Just to be cautious here, Escavalier is a Pokemon that I struggle beating. And I didn't have Hippowdon in any of my other teams, and anytime I encountered Escavalier, it was not fun. So maybe if I do another Toxic Cup, I will bring Hippowdon with me, which I might do another one. They are running all the way through the month of April. Normally, the Silph-themed tournaments only go for 1 month, but due to this pandemic, they extended the one from March through April. I don't think a lot of people will be doing the Toxic Cups in April because the Voyager Cup is going to be the format for regionals, so a lot of people will be focusing on that, but we will see what happens. So finishing up this round here, positive lead against the Drapion. And I think Bug Buzz might have been a better move, but I did the Iron Head. Going to switch out at the last minute, just try to save some confusion damage for another Pokemon. Body Slam's going to do neutral damage to just about anything, so that's another big advantage of Hippowdon. So there's 2 wins. Can I get the third? I think I'm doing that Pidgeot with 2 flyers in the back, or 2 grass in the back strategy again. Pidgeot is actually a good matchup against Golbat. It resists the Shadow Ball. Poison Fang's going to do alright damage. It's just not really a great move. Shiftry is going to lose to Golbat, so I'm not certain why I did that switch in. I think I was trying to get to the Hurricane, maybe. But it's okay. Bring that Pidgeot back in. Wasting shields here. And I really should have saved those shields for a different Pokemon. I was able to get rid of that Golbat, so that's great, but I think I could have finished him off with something else. Yep, Meganium probably could have used that shield a little bit more than Pidgeot could have, but that's okay. Can't win every single round. I mean, I guess some people can. There are a couple of elite trainers now, which is the next step above Ace. But yeah, that's all right. We'll go into the final set of 3 here against a trainer whose name I do not know how to pronounce. This is the first time I encountered a Crustle. It's a pretty cool looking Pokemon, just this giant square bug thing. But every time I encountered it, I wasn't too impressed. I'm glad I didn't invest in one. I will build one eventually, just because it does look cool, and I'm sure it has its uses. I don't think Toxic Cup is its best use. Maybe there will be something later on that just kind of showcases it more. Or maybe not. Not every Pokemon gets a showcase. Sometimes they're just cool to have without really much use for. But overall, I was pretty happy with the team comp I chose for this tournament. I wish I kind of would have used a little bit more insight in the lines of three that I picked against some of the trainers that I went up against. But yeah, all I can do is kind of try to do a little bit better next time. Drapion is probably my favorite pick for the Toxic Cup. There are a lot of things that counter it, but there are also a lot of things that it counters very well, and it can beat some of its counters in certain shield situations too, so that's one of the things I really like about it. It's a hard debate whether you want to use Ice Fang or Bite as the quick move. Bite, I was running for a long time and I really liked it, but Ice Fang gave me better coverage against the Flyers, which just ended up being something that I really, really wanted. It also does better against Toxicroak, so you're going to lose against Toxicroak if you're using Drapion, but you can do some heavy damage on your way out. So Wormadam versus Bibarel, it's not really positive for either party. You're both going to either use your shields or take a lot of damage, so I mean, I guess it's good if you want to get rid of their Bibarel and they want to get rid of your Wormadam. That takes both of those straight out, but Crustle did decide to go ahead and shield that Iron Head. It would have taken him almost all the way out. I decided to bring in Hippowdon. Fire Fang is going to do super effective damage because Crustle's a bug, so we'll just kind of try to farm him down a little bit. Keep as much health on Hippowdon as we can. Farm up a little bit of energy. We're going to throw this Earth Power, and he decides to switch into Bibarel. Unfortunately, since he was not able to shield the Earth Power, that's going to be the end of his Bibarel. So that worked out really well for us. Skuntank's going to finish off Hippowdon. We're going to bring in Meganium. And, yeah, probably should have just pulled the trigger on that Leaf Blade, or on that Frenzy Plant, rather, because the Flamethrower hurts. So, lost that one. We'll go ahead and go into this next round here. Not a very good lead. Immediately going to switch out of that. Really surprised they didn't switch out the Golbat. Golbat's going to take just absolute massive damage from those Ice Fangs. Maybe he thought it was going to be Bite. And then he does end up switching out. Not really a good switch, though. Ice Fang is going to do heavy damage to Gliscor as well as Aqua Tail, too. So I've got both of the shields already. I'm going to go ahead and preserve the little bit of health I have left on this Drapion. We're both out of shields, but that's okay. I'm going to maintain switch advantage here. And what's he going to bring in? Flygon. So all three of his Pokemon were weak to Drapion. Yeah, that's... Man, I've run into that situation before where my entire team was weak to Drapion. I realized in one of the tournaments that I did, I had no Drapion counters, and that was a bad match for me. I lost 5 of the 7 rounds. Ugh. So, luckily, I did not wait that one, so it didn't affect my rank too terribly bad. I'm not sure why I let those bubbles go. I think I was trying to farm up a bit more energy, but against the Golbat, that just wasn't the best idea. It didn't really matter at the end of the day, so there we have it.